Hi, my name is Dani Zoeller. I'm coming to you from South Beloit, Illinois. That's right on the border between Wisconsin and Illinois. I teach at Willowbrook Middle School, that's in the Prairie Hill School District, and I teach 7th grade writing and 6th grade lit. I am also currently a student at Northern Illinois University studying for my PhD in English. I am a lucky enough teacher that when I walk into my room each day, I have a beautiful set of Chromebooks in the room, and my students and I use these every single day. So I have a virtually paperless classroom. The kids love this because it creates a very efficient way for them to keep track of their homework. I love this because it creates an efficient way for me to grade. I love being a Google teacher. I've recently fallen in love with the Google Apps for Education over the last 1.5 to 2 years, and I'm finding ways to use them throughout my entire life. Everything from tracking my mom's symptoms after her chemo treatments to finding out how many pages kids have read in a single day of silent reading. So I'm really excited to kick my education and learning of the Google Apps for Education up to the next level. I love teaching my students using the Google Apps for Education, and I love sharing my knowledge of the Google Apps for Education with other teachers. So I wanted to share with you one of my favorite forms I've made using Google Forms that we use several times a week in my class in reading and in writing. And when the kids get to silent read in my class and they get this opportunity once a week in reading and once a week in writing, they will fill out something I call the weekly Wolver reading form. And this does several things. It keeps track of what book they're reading, how many pages they've read, who the author was. It asks them to reflect and answer a question. And it really just does a nice job of keeping track of those things. They go to my website, mrszoeller.com. That brings them to this website. They scroll down and they click on Weekly Wolver Reading Form. And then that brings the students to this beautiful form. Let's just say we're in first hour, so we would select that and hit Next. And then they select their name and hit Next. And then they're going to fill out a bunch of information about the title of their novel, the author of the novel, the page numbers they've read, something interesting or an interesting word rather, the definition for that word. They're going to choose one of these questions to answer and then answer it. But perhaps the most important piece of this is where in the room did you sit today? I have a few flexible seating options in my room with a red chair in the front and a couch in the back, and the students really like their opportunity to get to sit in those spaces. So I have to keep track of it somehow, and this form helps me do it. So then from this information, it creates a beautiful sheet, as we know, and the kids' information gets put in here. The reason there's so many name opportunities is due to all of my different hours, but you can see that all of the questions that they've answered in their information is here on this beautiful Sheets page that it creates for me. So then I use this information and I publish it out in these various pages at the bottom, one for each hour. And then we're just looking at the first hour one right now. And then from that, I create a pivot table. And this pivot table shows where in the room they sat. So you can see that there's multiple kids that have sat several times on the couch because there's kids that like to sit on the couch and kids that don't like to sit on the couch. And here's where I keep track of who likes to sit where and who hasn't gotten that opportunity yet. And I always make sure I ask those kids first. So that is my favorite thing I've created using the Google Apps for Education that we use on a very, very regular basis.